Hello there, strangers. It's been a little while, and I swear there are some good reasons for that. Life has been really, really busy in the best kind of way. I think that 2021 was an unexpectedly fantastic year. I had a lot of artistic breakthroughs in the early part of the year, and that's when I was posting a lot of videos. And I think the second half of the year was much more of a personally successful year. I got to do a lot of exploration, I got to live a little bit, spend some time offline in the real world, and it was really, really good for me. And I think off the back of all that, I've created a lot of space in my life to start doing other things. I managed to release a new reference pack every single week, except for two, for the whole of last year. So that's 50 new reference packs, which was huge, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm also finding myself burning out on it a little bit. So anyone who follows me on Instagram will know that I'm not stopping, I'm taking a little step back, and I'm seeing what else I can do in that space. One of the big reasons for that is that there's a lot of stuff that is really important to me that ends up being put on the back burner when I'm cranking out reference every week. It takes a lot of time to make reference packs, and I absolutely love that work, but I've been neglecting other work in that space. So my artwork, I'm hoping I'll be able to dedicate a lot more time to that this year, and maybe, don't hold me to it, maybe I'll be able to make more videos about painting. Now, the other thing that is really important to me that's really easy to not make time for is the creative coaching that I do. I absolutely love working with artists who are just starting to figure out what it is they want from their careers, whether or not they want to be professional artists, where their art is going. Helping artists is one of the most rewarding parts of what I do, and getting to guide people who are on the cusp of figuring things out but are just really struggling is one of my favourite parts of the job. I just had the most amazing opportunity to team up with Justin Donaldson, who is an incredible landscape painter and also fascinated with the same things I am about what it takes to make an artist, all the stuff that goes into making successful and balanced careers that isn't just the pursuit of skill. He and I teamed up and we've made a course. It's called Clarity. Our partnership was born out of a mutual frustration over how little the most important things about what makes an artist are addressed in our industry. And I think that's because it's some of the hardest stuff to talk about. It's so easy to throw ourselves into the pursuit of skill and completely neglect the largest components of what makes or breaks our careers. I think there's this huge misconception in the art industry that if we are struggling, the answer is to just keep studying, just keep getting better, just keep working harder. The thing is, I know a lot of phenomenally talented artists who still feel this way. They're still struggling. And that's when you start to realize that there is a lot more going on here than just a lack of skill. It's everything else. It's how we approach our work. It's how we approach the rest of our lives. And yet there are so few resources out there that are specifically applicable to our art. Like, how do we find our style? How do we know what kind of work we want to do? And there is so many options. It's really daunting. The good news is that there actually is a fairly academic answer to a lot of that stuff. Things like finding your style can feel so wishy-washy, but the truth is it just comes down to a series of decisions, and those decisions happen when we feel the confidence to make them. So many of us, even those of us who have some amount of success behind us, are still really struggling. I used to think that once I reached a certain level of skill or a certain number of followers or a certain income that my lack of confidence would magically resolve. And I found that wasn't the case. I also found that a lot of my peers were struggling with this too. And I think the biggest frustration of all is reaching that point and realizing we had the power all along to do something about that, and that we were burying our hopes in the wrong place. Every time Justin and I get together, we can talk for hours about what it takes to have a healthy career, what it takes to find peace and happiness and contentment in our work. And so we decided to put it together into a little workshop. The aim of Clarity is to help you guys to find those little assumptions that we carry, the things that don't quite belong to us, and put ourselves back together in a way that's much more helpful and much more healthy. As important as physical skill is, it's the sticking power that is important in this career, and we can teach you some of that. Things like confidence and courage and clarity do not come from having physical skills. It's a component, but it's not all of it. That's actually something we start crafting for ourselves from the beginning. It is learning to trust our ability to get through whatever we come across. It is knowing that we'll bounce back when things get difficult. It is trusting ourselves to resume when we've taken a break. Once we have those sorts of skills and mindsets in place, everything gets easier. And that's why we wanted to make this workshop. We want to create a safe space for artists to start exploring these really tough questions with a little bit of guidance. During these 4 weeks, you'll start to recognize patterns in yourself, for better or for worse, and you will learn to tailor the path that you want to take to fit you specifically, to find that unique voice, and to learn to trust it. This workshop is more than learning how to paint and draw. These are skills that will continue to help you throughout your careers and in other areas of life too. This is widely applicable stuff, and honestly really difficult to teach, which is why we are going to do this together. I hope we can help you kick off this year with a much greater sense of confidence and a bit more trust in yourself. The workshop launches on the 17th of January, so not long now. And if you want to find out more, there's going to be a link in the description. You can also find out more through Instagram. I'm posting more and more about it as we get closer to the time. I really hope you can join us. I think this course is going to be really cool. I think it's going to be really different from what we're used to. And I think we're going to make some huge breakthroughs. Hope to see you there.